Another day, another episode of Generation X. Jesus Christ. It's not Generation X Gaming. It's the Daily Grind. Song just said it. What's wrong with me? What's going on, chat? Good morning. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Monopoly. Monopoly Go made $6 billion faster than any mobile game in history. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a video from Swaggily, who's got about 4,406 subscribers. He's got a video called The Battlefield 6 Conspiracy. We're going to watch that. We're also going to talk about Splitgate. It's got an update 2.2, which is a Arena Reloaded now. Splitgate Arena Reloaded. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna watch Kingard's video on Highguard, which is called "How to Kill a Game at Its First Reveal." So all this and more on this channel. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Mo? Good morning, Altern. What's going on, Eclipse? Good morning, Dolphin. Good morning. Nice to see you, Jason. Good morning, Roic. Good morning, Kylo. Good morning. Who am I missing? Good morning to the lurkers. What's going on, Jesse Mack? All right. Let's get to the first thing, which is, I have all the time in the world. I don't need to play new games when they come out. I don't need to play your new games when they're old games and they're on Game Pass, okay? But my most exciting thing here is Space Marines 2 because I was going to buy it, and it went on sale, and it was on a really big discount. It was like $26, and I went, no, not yet. I'm going to hold off, and there it is. Space Marines 2 coming to Game Pass, Ultimate and Premium. Okay, Ultimate and Premium, so you don't even have to have the Ultimate Game Pass to play it. It's on Xbox Series S, X, PC, and Cloud as well. So look forward to that in February. Me and Sarge will play Shooting the Shit with Sarge, playing Space Marines 2, because why not? It's on Game Pass. Another thing, when I play Roadcraft, anybody that have Game Pass, you want to come on and throw dirt and crash vehicles into the lake, you can join me now in Roadcraft, because that's also on Ultimate and Premium, but PC only. But you're more than welcome to join in. And then there's Death Stranding 2, which, is that Death Stranding 2? That's Death Stranding Director's Cut. Yeah, I don't need to play FedEx Simulator. Not a big fan. I watched Code Carnage play it. Looks fantastic. Great story. But I'm good. And then you got other games up there. Talos Principle is actually a really good puzzle game. So if you guys want to play that as well. But there you go. The biggest one out there for me is Space Marines 2. So win-win chicken dinner. So that's what we'll be playing in February, because I think it comes out January 29th. Which is 9 days from now, which is a Thursday. Yeah, so it comes out the day on the show of GXG, and we'll play it the following Wednesday. So February 4th will be the first time we play Space Marines 2 with Sarge. It's already on console, Roadcraft is? Oh, is it? Roadcraft's already on Game Pass? Well, there you go. Eclipse says, you wish you had Fabio there. Anybody that can just take a vehicle and throw it into the water, or just spread dirt everywhere without helping, fantastic. Why not? Kyle says, question, will you be watching the Xbox Direct tomorrow? I think it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. It all depends on how long it is. If it's an hour long, we could probably watch it. We could probably do an extra stream and just like roll over this stream into 1 o'clock and do it. If it's like an hour long, sure. If it's 2 hours long, I'm probably going to have to bail out before it's finished. But yeah, it shouldn't be, we should be able to watch it. And if we don't, what we'll do the following day, right? Because if it comes out tomorrow on Thursday morning, we'll talk about all the things they show, and we'll go over it anyway. So regardless, we'll cover it. About to get Game Pass just to do the Fabio on your map. It sounds good, Altern. It sounds good. Yeah, no chance it's over an hour. I don't know. There's 4 games. If they do 20 minutes each, I mean, it could be an hour and 20 minutes. It could be 10 minutes each. It could be 15 minutes each. Who knows? 15 minutes a game? Yeah, okay, that's an hour. Yeah, either way, we'll cover it. If we don't cover it live, we'll cover it afterwards. All right, let's talk about Splitgate first. Okay, we got a little video here for Splitgate. Now, the reason we cover Splitgate, I'll be honest, is because it's just watching this in real time happen on how they went from basically the kings of independent game as far as people loving it, then destroying their own game to make Splitgate 2, which then they abandoned the Splitgate 2 and basically called it now Splitgate Arena Reloaded because they went into their own downfall spiral from the Summer Game Fest last year to saying that make FPS great again, to only bringing in the Call of Duty microtransactions, to then taking it out of launch to put it back into beta. So let's watch this video here and see what they have to say. It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh from 1047 Games. Today we're...
Hi Josh, I feel like this is like an AA meeting. Hi Josh, welcome to failed games in 2026. So introduce yourself and let us know why you're here.
We're going to walk through what's coming in our update 2.2, and that includes a preview of our new mode, Arena Royale.
Arena Royale. They are so hellbent in getting a battle royale into their game that they decided to make a battle royale which was 100 players, and they shrunk it down to 24, which is basically what's the one real fast on in Fortnite where it's like 30 people? Is that Reloaded? Is that what it is? No, it's not Reloaded. What's that game mode that's on it's not Reloaded. I forget what that one is. Reload is the one where you keep coming back. I can't think of the one. Chad will tell me.
This update is a big one for Splitgate. It builds on everything we learned from launch and takes that same
Blitz. Thank you, Altern. Blitz.
Arena first philosophy and applies it to our battle royale. When we sat down to design Arena Royale, we knew we wanted to push it closer to that arena feel.
I don't understand. Is Kathleen Kennedy running Splitgate too? Like, what is happening? Right? And I'm not even a Splitgate genre fan, right? Splitgate, when it first came out as the original Splitgate, people loved it because it was going back to arena shooters. That's what they banked their whole thing on. They're like, we're bringing back arenas, man. We're bringing back the Quake type of stuff. We're bringing back the Halo type of stuff. Right? They took Portal and put it in. It was great. People loved it. People were just raving about it. They're like, oh my God, this is so good. It's so refreshing. And they said, no, we've got one better. We're going to stop making the game that you like, and we're going to make the same thing that everyone else is making, but different, but the same. But different, but the same.
A lot of that DNA already existed in Splitgate's VR, like diverse battlegrounds and the ability to respawn when going down. But we knew we wanted to push it further. And we kept coming back to this core idea. Less looting, more shooting.
Did you just say less moving, more shooting?
Kept coming back to this core idea. Less looting, more...
Less looting. Okay, I was like, less moving. Less looting.
More shooting. You see, traditional battle royales have long stretches where you're not really playing. You're staring at chests, traversing empty space, and waiting for your next fight. Arena shooters are the opposite. They're about fast action and fast...
So now they're trying to take the arena feel and bring it into battle royales, which Blitz is doing.
Engagement. Arena Royale is the best of both worlds. One of the biggest changes you'll see right away is how matches start. Instead of dropping from a ship, everyone begins in the stadium, a new warm-up space. And during this time, the entire lobby votes on which biome you'll fight in. We have 4 biomes: Glacier, Drought, Fracture, and our brand new addition, Outskirts, an urban battleground that brings an entirely different scale to the fight.
You know, ironically, Ron says, "Don't worry, High Guard will save gaming in about a week." Here's what I would like to ask, chat. Which will be more successful? Free-to-play Splitgate with the second reloaded thing. Actually, is it third? Because they did Splitgate, then they did Splitgate 2, then they did Splitgate Reloaded, but now they're doing Splitgate Arena Reloaded, or whatever, right? The relaunch of Splitgate 2, which then they changed into, or High Guard. Which one has more of a sustaining power? High Guard or Splitgate Arena Reloaded? I think the people that are playing this game right now, I think they stop playing this, right? And they go play High Guard. Just my thought process.
You cast your vote, and when the timer hits 0, the majority vote decides where all 24 players will drop.
Eclipse says, "Man, you can't do that, 30. That's a hard choice. I'm going to go with High Guard. It's going to do better." That's a hard question, though. Hard question.
Narrowing each game to a
And sorry to flashbang you guys there.
single biome with a tighter player count keeps the experience fast and focused, much closer to the rhythm of an arena shooter, while still giving you that scale and variety of a BR. Now let's talk about the pace. You
know what I like? You can tell this is very calculated, and here's why. Obviously, he's a developer, and he's the guy that's doing the thing. But he's like, how do you market to the people that are playing our game, right? And when you're like, well, who's playing our game? Well, the average person that's playing our game is probably high teens, low 20s. And how do we relate to them, right? So how do you relate to them? You put a hoodie on, you put a ball cap on, you speak a little, cool to them, right? I feel like this is Steve Buscemi putting the skateboard on his back saying, "Hello, fellow students," right? Like, that's the way I feel like this is happening. I don't feel like this is natural. I feel like this is forced. I could be completely wrong. This is how they are, because he did wear the same type of style on stage. Obviously not him, but I forget the other guy's name. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel real. It feels like they're marketing towards obviously a certain demographic.
wanted looting and Arena Royale to feel fast and frictionless. Chests open automatically.
Oh, wow. Automatically. Why have chests? Why have chests? Why not just have the guns on the ground, then you just run over and pick them up?
Loot drops instantly on death, so you're not spending your match in menus while somebody third parties you. We've also done away with buy stations. Instead, you can upgrade instantly while moving through the map. You'll earn cash by doing damage and getting kills, and from our new arena events. Every round you'll get an injection of arena gameplay, with Hot Zone, Split Ball, and Firecracker.
You know, the bad part about this is, it actually looks like a good game. It actually looks like a fun game. But the fact is, they're on life support right now, man. And I don't know if a arena shooter could have a No Man's Sky comeback. I don't. Because the industry is so fast-paced and there's just new games coming out. High Guard is coming out. Marathon is coming out. This game had to land and hit, and it didn't. It landed and stalled. Then they pulled it back, brought it out, and it stalled again.
These events work to pull players into fights and deliver arena-style engagements inside the BR sandbox. Win the event, get the cash, and upgrade your gear to get the upper hand in your next fight. Arena Royale is exciting for us, but our focus is on strengthening the core arena experience right alongside this mode. Update 2.2 also brings a brand new arena map that features high-flying gameplay where players launch into the sky to engage in aerial combat. It adds a whole new flavor to the arena. We're also making improvements to custom games, adding new mythic cosmetics, and a brand new mastery camo we call Isotromic. This will be the ultimate chase camo for the completionists who get Proelium on every weapon.
What is the percentage of that? How many people are playing this game right now? And the top of the top 1%ers, how many people are going to have that gun? All 24 people that are playing the game?
Really excited for this update, and we can't wait to hear what you think. Thank you for the continued feedback and support. It's shaped everything we're doing, and we'll need even more as we continue to develop Splitgate. Update 2.2 and Arena Royale go live January 22nd. We'll see you in the...
I feel like they've rebooted this game like 3 times already, right? Let's go to the Splitgate numbers here. Let's make sure these are the live numbers. Now, again, this is not, of course, from Ian, as that was the guy's name, okay? Saying that this is not the last thing to look at, right? But the last numbers, they did have a little kick up here on December, okay, December 15th, and then now it's going back down. They've lost about 1,000 people. They had 2,200 people on December 15th, and they're down to 1,065. Maybe they get another bump, but this is not good. Even if let's double this and then times it by 3. All right, so we have 1,000 and then times it by 3. So what do you have? 3,000 people playing, right? That's not good. And I'm talking about 3,000 people across the board, right? 1 million people, 2 million people basically played this game, and you're down to about 3,000 people. Right? And I don't mean to bring this up to be like, look at that. Like, you have to make a game, sell a game. Make a game, sell a game. You can't half-ass make a game and then bring it back out and then bring it back in and then bring it back out. And first impressions are everything. And now you're just chasing your own tail. I feel so bad. I feel so bad about this because they were good, right? They were so good. They were living the dream. They wanted to make a fast-paced arena shooter game in Splitgate 1, and they never finished it. They stopped it before it bloomed, right? They're like, oh, that flower's going to be awesome, snip. And they completely cut it down. They're like, we're going to plant it over here now. And then they did it again. They did it again. They're shooting themselves in the foot every single time. And now they're just chasing. They're just chasing. I don't see this thing happening. I think, and I've said this before, I think this is the year that the whole studio just shuts down by the end of the year. I truly believe that. Because they can't keep it going. Because there's not enough people spending money inside this game. There's not. And there's way too many games that are already established. There's way too many games, okay? Even though no one's playing Battlefield, which we'll talk about in a second, right? No one's playing Battlefield. Look at Battlefield. Okay, let's make sure that's refreshed. Right? 44,108 right now. Okay? They sold about 11 million copies across all. This is console, PC, everything. Okay? And they are down to 76,000 in the last 24-hour peak, and right now they're at 44,000. People are playing this. People are playing Arc Raiders. People will play Marathon. People will play High Guard. People will play, what have you done for me lately? They're like, oh, let's try Splitgate. Okay, we're done with that. Moving on. I feel so bad, especially for independent developers like this, that they had something and they just chased the trends. Yesterday, Star Wars Theory said, if you just make the stuff, the money will come. Splitgate made the game and money was coming to them. And they're like, oh, we can make 10 times more money if we did this. And then they kind of went against what they originally wanted to do. They got caught up in the actual money. And then now, because they were making money, they think they can make all the money. They think their shit didn't stink, and they brought it back down, and now they're struggling. And now they can't, they're like in quicksand, and they're trying to grab a stick around them, and they just can't. And they just keep changing it. I feel bad about them because it does look like a fun game, right? It's just not my style of game. And I feel really bad that a game like this that could have succeeded if they just gave a little bit of water, trim the bushes a little bit, prune it, make it nice, and then nope, they went for it. So there you go. Splitgate, just so you know, is now new Splitgate Battle Royale. 24 players, proximity chat, pregame. See, this is another thing. Proximity chat, right? They're adding a proximity chat because they're like, oh well, Arc Raiders got a proximity chat, so let's chase that because that is why people are playing. Maybe we'll get those moments. What type of proximity chat are you getting in arena shooters? Eat shit, MFer, right? Suck my balls. That's what you're getting with proximity chat. This is not a PvE game. This is a PvP game. In Arc Raiders, it works because there's a proximity chat because you can kind of beg for your life. What are you begging for? What are you doing? You're just talking shit, right? Most people won't even use proximity chat. Pre-game arena for vote biome. Okay, and if your maps suck and they don't like them, you have 4 maps, which now you have 1 map because everyone will be stopping because they don't want to play all 4 maps. Only 1 biome. Chests auto open now. What's the point of having chests? Right? Armor plates and other various upgrades are auto pickup. Right? Arena mode spawns in per round. Basically, you don't even have to do anything. Just run around, just picking up stuff. Okay? No more buy stations. Upgrade on the fly. Inventory menu. Okay? Well, there you go. Which I think is funny because they said there's no drop in. You just start in an arena, and here you go. You're dropping in. Unless I misheard that. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Eclipse says all they had to do was put all of this in Splitgate 1. I mean, look at the League of Legends. It looks nothing like it did when it first came out, and you can upgrade the graphics. What's going on, Warbear? So do you really feel bad? I don't think you do, 30. Why? Because they were greedy. I feel bad. I feel bad because they had it. They had it, Water. They had their niche, and they blew it. I do feel bad, right? I don't feel bad because I'm not playing the game. It's not my type of game. If I was mid-20s, and I would still be playing these games, my reaction time is not as good, right? So I don't play these games, but it does look good, right? But that's never been the problem with Splitgate. The Splitgate has been the problem that they've never stuck with what they have. They're constantly trying to adjust and do chasing a trend, and that's the problem. What's going on, Travis? Question is, which dies and closes first, this game or Marathon? Well, it's not really a fair question because Splitgate's been out for longer. So Marathon, I would say that Splitgate lasts shorter than Marathon, or Splitgate 2 lasts shorter than Marathon. I think Marathon sticks around for 2 years because Sony has to have it stick around. If it's super popular or not, it sticks around for a year, definitely, if not 2. Altern says, I mean, it's part of their fault to say we want to make an FPS better, and just did the same thing as COD. Right. And the wrong parts of COD. I don't know, man. Marathon's pretty doomed. You got to remember, Splitgate's got a brand new clientele. Marathon has a fan base of the old Marathon, which is nothing like it, but they also have a very dedicated Bungie fan base that might be disappointed in Destiny 1 or 2, and they're not getting Destiny 3, but those people are like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot because they love Bungie. So that is a very dedicated fan base, which is way bigger than Splitgate trying to make a fan base. I think this game stays online for a long time with no player base. I think it closes this year. That's Splitgate, by the way. Dolphin says, T-Berg! Yeah, that's what's going to happen in proximity chat. Splitgate 1 is what you've always wanted with Halo. It was upgraded in the arena shooter. It really was. Marathon's looking better. It's looking better, but still, just because I'm not playing it doesn't mean it's a bad game. I just have no interest in it. Enjoy. We'll cover it. We'll cover it when stuff needs to be covered. Clip says Bungie fans are going to eat it up. Dolphin probably already bought the Ultimate Edition. He's already got the tower next to him right now. He already bought the 3D printed tower. It's in green form instead of gray form, and it doesn't light up. Travis says, see, most of the old Marathon guys I know are boycotting the game and even trying to convince others not to play it. Let's be honest. The original Marathon group is less than 1.5 million, 2 million people. Let's be honest. Okay? There's not a lot of people that played Marathon back in the day that are still playing games today. Mo says, I want Bungie gone, but Marathon will survive. Altered says, I mean, Splitgate has nowhere to go now. The player base is not coming in. So the next step is either die or, well, die. That's right. That's right. Roic says, I give Splitgate 6 months. You think it's dead before Summer Game Fest? Before Summer Game Fest, it's dead. Jason says, I saw the collector's edition. Doesn't even come with a disc. Oh, you're talking about sorry, not Destiny. Marathon? Water says, Magic bought the Marathon Tower before it dropped. It's not just green. It's all the colors of the game. Crowd says, I hate the disappointment. I hate to disappoint the haters, but Marathon is selling well. I'm not a hater, Crowded. I can separate me not liking the company. I said when Marathon comes out, it'll probably average about 150 concurrent players on Steam, and then it'll drop from there.
Celebrates 27 months of membership, 27 months longer than what Splitgate will last.
Thank you, Altern. Thank you very much for the 27 months. 27 months longer than what Splitgate 2 will last. Love it. Yeah, I'm not a hater of Marathon because I think it looks bad or anything. I just don't like Bungie. I'm not playing it. Okay. But I have said on record that Marathon will get about 150, I said not 150 million, 150,000 concurrent players. Okay. 150,000 concurrent players. And then it'll drop from there. Right. It will have this audience because of Bungie. Bungie's been around for a really long time. They have fans. Right. Right? There's so many people that will just support the game because of Bungie, which is fine. There's the fans.
At Magic Dolphin 474 celebrates 29 months of membership, 29 months, 2 months longer than all term.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you very much for this continued support, Dolphin. Appreciate you. Jason says, oh, Bungie, how the mighty have fallen. Eclipse says, you also think Red Dead Redemption 2 is underrated. I just think it's funny that that Dustin said that. I was like, he's got to be trolling. So I was like, let me give him an answer back. I was like, yeah, it's only got like 72 nominations and 25 wins. It's super underrated. Super underrated. All right, let's go from that. And let's watch Kingard's video. Let's watch Kingard's video. It's about 10 minutes long, 9.5 minutes long. You guys know Kingard. He's been on the show multiple times. This video came out about a day ago. Okay? About a day ago. Let's watch this. This is about Highguard. Now, we talked about Highguard. Now, Highguard's they're in ramp position now. They're ready to start advertising for Highguard. The Game Awards show came out yesterday. The Twitter account and said, 1 week. Nobody else said anything, just the Game Awards. So let's watch this. Let's watch Kingard's video here. If you guys like what I do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All the links of the stories and videos that we watch are in the description down below. All right, here you go.
Did ChatGPT make me a hero shooter for Jeff Keighley to hype up?
Welcome.
I love it. Make me a hero shooter for Jeff Keighley to hype up. All right, here's a hero shooter designed specifically for Jeff Keighley to overhype into oblivion. Beautiful. Beautiful, Kingard.
It's a Highguard.
Thank you. Forget having a hype guy. If you need an overhype guy, let me introduce you to Jeff Keighley. For the low price of $450,000 a minute, this man will take a break.
7,889 celebrates 30 months of membership, 30 months. 1 month longer than Dolphin. 3 months longer than Altern. 27 months longer than Splitgate.
Thank you. Thank you, Kylo, for the 30-month support. 1 month longer than Dolphin. 3 months longer than Altern, and 27 months longer than Splitgate. It was beautiful. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
from faking an award show to wipe the tears from his eyes and tell the world on a live broadcast that your game that could easily pass for a Game Boy Color launch title might just be what solves world hunger.
I've played it. I think you're going to want to as well.
And at the end of the night in 2025, we get one more award?
Not tonight.
Yeah, but more importantly, one more ad. The anticipation for the final one usually being pretty high.
Exactly, right? The last one, you're like, okay, last one. What do we got? What do we got? We got Beyond Good and Evil 2? No. Elder Scrolls 6? No. What else? Half-Life 3? No. You sit forward, you're like, what do they got for us? What do they got?
And if recent reports like this one from Paul Tassi are correct, the subject of today's video didn't even pay to be the final ad slot. They wanted to just be one of the many, but instead Jeff and co, I guess, decided let's gas them up. The people been waiting for this one. Placing an aggressively mid-reveal in the most revered time slot of the night can't possibly backfire for the studio making the game, can it?
I'm
Up to $450K for one Game Award spot.
What's it this year? Bloodborne Remaster? No, we hate money. Half-Life 3? No.
There you go, right? You're sitting for it, you're waiting for it.
Not on your life. Fast and Furious game? We did that already.
52 celebrates 34 months of membership. Well, let me get in on this. 4 more months longer than Kylo.
I see a pattern here. I see a pattern here. Thank you for the 34 months. 4 more months longer than Kylo. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, overhyped Jeff was gonna live up to his name on that night. And it wasn't just a reveal we were in for, it was a reminder of just how tired players are of being oversold that will probably go down in the history books. We got thunder on screen.
Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex.
First of all, it's not 61 members that made Apex Legends. We counted. It's 37. 37 of the 61 made Apex Legends.
Legends and Titanfall.
You like those games, don't you? This new original game.
Right, and that's another thing I don't like, right? Did you like Titanfall? Remember Titanfall? We love Titanfall. People that played Titanfall love Titanfall. But Titanfall was not successful. Not 1, not 2. Neither of them were successful because EA completely shot themselves in the foot with Titanfall 1 and 2. Okay? But people love Morning Wonder Rose. People love Titanfall. Love the series. Would love Titanfall 3. Nope, that's not what you're getting. You're not getting Titanfall 3. Then Apex Legends came out of nowhere and they're like, remember those guys that made Apex Legends? Well, they made another game. And that is my biggest thing right there. If the guys that made Apex Legends shadow drop Apex Legends, it was very big, why would you pay money or not pay money? Okay. Oh.
At Big Madmo 4379 celebrates 34 months of membership. Hey damn, almost 3 years. That's crazy. In that time Game Pass has gotten better. Mike, you should try PoE 2. It's amazing. Never change, brother.
I have tried Path of Exile 2. We have like 20, 30 hours in Path of Exile 2. We have. We've played it. What we got? We got water. I wish I could play these. Is it going to play? Or is it not going to play? $2 more than Water Bear. $1.99. Thank you very much for the super chat. And thank you very much, Mo, for the 34 months. Appreciate it. The new version, sir. Look, I can log in. I played it. Since they put the new character in, I played it. Not very long, but I did play it. All right. So they put this game out and they're like, hey, Apex Legends, if they're going to shadow drop it, then they shouldn't have done anything. I'll be honest. They should have said absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden next week on the 26th, boom, it comes out and you're like, what's this?
Game is going to push the shooter genre forward. And totally not because my entire business model relies on indie studios seeing value in my ad slots since the big guys do their own showcases.
The power of independent, self-published studios to push this medium forward is a growing and I think positive theme in our industry. I've played it, and after you see this trailer, I think...
This is what I don't understand. Does Keeley have some, I don't know if he's got to say it. Does he have some sort of investment? Did he give him some money? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that someone else would promote it and you wouldn't promote your own thing.
You're going to want to as well.
Like, up until this point, you're like, okay, cool, they're advertising their game. But they went completely silent for a month and a half.
I don't know.
All right, Jeff. Oh, you look like a dude in a dog suit. All right, Jeff. The last time someone made promises like this to us on your stage was Splitgate 2 at Summer Games
There's the independent developer right there.
Fest.
And it's fucking awesome.
Show us what this game,
Unbelievable.
Highguard, is all about.
Did he say high gird?
Some.
Show us what this game, Highguard, is all about.
High gird.
First up, a Da Vinci twin reject with a character design that looks like what a millennial thinks a kid thinks is cool. Wait, why does this look so familiar? Is that horseback match entrances like...
Every time I see that character on a horseback, I think of the last Star Wars film, Episode 9, where they're riding horses on the side of the Star Destroyer. Sorry, on the side of the Star Destroyer. So much so, even the other character.
Cool. Wait, why does this look so familiar? Is that horseback match intro?
Because this character has the froey hair, and so did the girl on the Star Destroyer with Finn.
Entrances like paladins, whimsical characters, ult abilities, central objectives. Oh no!
That stench. I've smelled it before.
Give it the smell test, Kingard. Yeah, you can smell it. You can just... You're like, what is this game? I know that smell. I know that smell. Wait a minute, what are we looking at? What are we looking at?
You won't survive on your own.
Is one Concord? Is he doing what Legendary Games did? Or Legendary Drops did? Is one Concord and the other one is Highguard?
You won't survive on your own.
Look at this.
This is a Concord.
Hey, look at us. We've made it. We've made it.
Oh no.
Let me back it up.
This is a Concord. Oh no.
It started off so cool.
Play for free.
They're done, dude.
That right there sums up the entire thing. That sums it up right there.
Pretty crazy.
When you said a new breed of shooter, you didn't just mean another hero shooter, did you?
Yes.
Well, let's see if they call this free-to-play game a hero shooter. Jeff doesn't, the trailer doesn't, their Twitter doesn't,
Nobody does. Nobody says anything.
and their website doesn't. In fact, their website says almost nothing about the game. We are wardens, you see. It's a raid shooter, where we attack another team's objective.
So is this like Outriders? Is this like what is it like?
That they're defending, I think. And it's not Overwatch, you see, it's
This is the part I saw.
high guard.
Yeah. Overwatch. High guard. Over, high, watch, guard. Watch is like guarding. Amazing.
Totally different. They're not using the term hero.
It's the same, but different, but the same.
Hero shooter, not because it's inaccurate, but because that's exactly what this game is, and they know how people feel about them. And being a hero shooter isn't a death wish on its own, but when your game looks so unironically close to one of the most mocked hero shooters of all time, it's still pretty fresh on the brain, to the point where some side-by-side clips...
Can you believe it's been a year? It's been a year and a half. It's free to play. Yeah, it's free to play, it feels, right? It's been a year and a half since Concord came out. That's crazy, right?
Clips look indistinguishable from each other? Yeah, man, you're leading your game to slaughter. They asked ChatGPT to copy Concord and every generic art style imaginable, all rolled into one without making it too obvious, and ChatGPT failed. The signs don't...
The fact is that Concord was in development, and this game has been in development for 4 years. Two separate companies were making a hero-esque shooter type of thing at the exact same time that look almost exactly the same. What are the odds? Two separate companies making similar games. It's weird, right?
Point to ignorance, they point to willful blindness. Wildlight, you had not one, but two rats snapped the trap shut in front of you and you still chased the cheese.
Yeah, it's a PvPvE, or is it PvEVP type of game?
Watched Concord implode.
That's right, Jesse. It's a James Franco reference with the same. Yes, thank you.
You watched Marathon stall, and instead of pivoting, you just crossed your fingers and hoped nobody would notice the similarities. You had to have considered pivoting at some point, right? Well, yeah, but ours is a free-to-play, and people like Apex and Titanfall, and Marvel Rivals did fine, and it's a hero shooter.
The only reason that Marvel's works is because it's Marvel. Do you know what I mean? 80 years of character development and comics and shows and movies and video games. This is why Marvel works in the Overwatch genre, because it's already been established. You're not bringing brand new characters in. And I'm not yelling at Kingard in any way, shape, or form. I'm yelling at the stupidity of these game industry that are like, well, yeah, it worked here. Yeah, it worked here because these guys are known.
Is this game Apex or Titanfall? No. Does this game have a $50+ billion IP?
Let's get back to me when I'm 80 years old and if Apex Legends is still around. You know what'll still be around? Marvel.
Attached to it? No. Name one innovative thing that you showed in your trailer for Highguard that back
I love that he keeps saying Highguard.
Backs up the promise of
pushing the shooter genre forward with a new original game.
Nice. I like that. 8 Mile reference. There's Captain America.
That's what I thought. Invasion, Rush type game modes have had and do have fans, just not when it's presented
Exactly.
as some hellspawn abomination of Fortnite Apex over.
This picture, man. Holy shit.
We're watching Concord. What's your monetization going to be like? Don't even bother answering that. We already know. We've seen this 1,000 times. While the trailer reveals getting dogpiled on every corner of the internet with downvotes and dislikes, Wildlight was hard at work. In the weeks leading up to launch, they filled Twitter feeds with posts explaining the different character abilities.
No, they didn't. Right? They didn't. They haven't done anything. And I know that's the joke he's making.
Posted videos to YouTube every week with exciting new gameplay edits.
Letting us know what it is. Nope. Didn't do that.
They crunched to saturate the internet with as much new marketing material as possible so people could get excited.
This is the reason that we loved Kingard's videos in the very beginning. I loved his editing style. That's why I reached out to him and brought him on the show, and we've known him for over a year and almost 2 years, I think. We started talking to him, right? Like, I love his editing styles. I love what he does. I mean, this is just genius.
Every week with exciting new gameplay edits. They crunched to saturate the internet with as much new marketing material as possible so people could get excited. Just kidding. They're gone. And they've been gone.
They haven't done anything. Their YouTube has one video with, I have more subscribers than a video game. Come on, bro. What's happening? My other channel has more than this. Tay, thanks for the subscriber.
Since the Game Awards, this ain't looking too good to your pitch to the indie guys, is it, Jeff? This video is going to be outdated pretty quickly, but right now we're about a week and a half away from when they were supposed to be launching the game, and Wildlight is still radio silent on all channels, except one guy who made.
How does this make sense? What's the Battlefield conspiracy? I don't know. We'll find out together when we watch the video.
The mistake of announcing on Twitter that he was involved, then immediately wishing he hadn't. It's like these guys really did just take the lashing and crawl back into their hole. Well, I can understand how.
What did he say? After 2.5 years, I can finally share. I'm a head character and creator of rigging of the rigging on Highguard. It was revealed live at the Game Awards tonight while I was in the audience. It's been a dream job. I can't believe how lucky I am. Oh boy, did he get ratioed? Yeah, he did.
It's like these guys really did just take the lashing and crawl back into their hole. Well, I can understand how crushing it could be to work on something for a long time just for people not to show interest in it when you do release it. On the other hand,
Hold on, what was that?
For people not to show interest in it when you do release it.
Subscribers choosing to watch this video less often, 65% viewer.
On the other hand, though, truly, what did you expect? The audience is always right. Nobody cares about how much time you took or how much passion.
Yeah, nobody cares. That's not our job. As consumers, as customers, okay, it's not our job to know, well, how long did it take you to make this game? Oh, well, we're going to put points in our head for that. Well, it took them 6 years or 4 years. Oh, 61 people worked on it. And we don't. Nobody cares. What we care about as customers, does the game look fun? Does it look fun? Check, right? Does it play well? Check, right? Does it look interesting in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, check. I don't care if you worked 80 hours a week for 4 years. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We just want the product. You make product. We give you money for product. We go, me likey product.
You put into something, if people don't want it, they don't want it.
That's exactly right. If we don't want something, we don't buy it. I wish Star Wars would learn this, right? Star Wars like, you're sexist and racist and misogynistic. No, we're not interested in what you made for us. So we don't buy something. We don't buy your toys. We don't buy your video games. We don't go to the movies to watch it. We're not getting Disney Plus, right? This is the reason that customers, the expression of customers are always right is not because they're Karens and they want to be right. No, they're always right because if they don't want to buy something, I don't care if it's a washing machine, a toaster oven, or a video game, if it doesn't work correctly, they're not going to buy your product. And if you burn the bridge, if you don't fix the thing, or you give a shitty product, then they're not going to trust the next thing that comes out from that company or from anything else. And they played a free-to-play game that came out that was half-assed and Concord was it, and they look at it and say, this looks like Concord, even though it's not the same developers. It looks like Concord. I'm going to hold off. Even if it's free to play, I'm not interested until we see what it is. But they haven't told us what it is because they haven't said anything since the Game Awards.
It really is that simple. And you guys have more than enough of a data pool at your disposal to know what players do and don't want in the FPS space, with specific examples of what not to do. Did you think that the games some of you worked on before would be enough for people to overlook the problem?
Right. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter. Imagine if it worked the opposite way, right? So let's say a shitty game, right? They worked on Gollum, they worked on King Kong, and now they made this. Do you think they would lead with, from the developers that made Gollum, the developers that made King Kong? No, they were like, we're not talking about those games because they were bad games. It doesn't matter what games you made before. It matters about what your game is today. What have you done for me lately? Okay? I'm telling you from experience, being in the film industry for 20 years, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. Oh, give me 1 second. There's someone at my door. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. From the mountains to the bay, from them back roads to Broadway, we all fly that same old flag, and we stand 50 stars strong. Let's ride. Let's ride. We 50 stars strong, wave that flag high, red, white, blue, freedom in the sky. From sea to shining state we roll, 50 hearts, one country soul. Hey, from the farms to the towns, from the ridge to the bay, can't nobody do it like the USA. Different roots but the same old song. From sea to shining state we 50 stars strong. Started in Maine where the morning breaks, down to Georgia where the peaches bake. Carolina charm, Tennessee sound, sweet home roots in the red clay ground.
All right. Sorry about that. Right. What was I saying? I was saying something, but I got interrupted, and now I can't remember what the hell I was saying. Right? maybe if I back it up a little bit, I can remember.
Think that the games some of you worked on before would be...
That's exactly what I was saying, right? So if you worked on a shitty game before, are you going to promote that and be like, no, I was saying when I worked in the film industry, what have you done for me lately? If I worked on a shitty project, I didn't put that on my resume when someone says, hey, what did you do? Right? So if I worked on a project that I was proud of, I put that on my resume and they go, oh, you worked on this show, right? What have you done since that year? Be like, oh, I did some side projects here and there, but nothing, And they're like, all right, cool, right? They still want to know, have you been working? Have you been doing stuff? Have you been keeping up with your craft type of stuff? But I love when they're like, well, they worked on this game. Okay, great. The producer that worked on Mind's Eye worked on Grand Theft Auto. Right? What have you done for me lately? Yeah, your last game that you produced was fantastic. Mind's Eye, not so much.
Enough for people to overlook the problems with your game now? Or are you really just that chronically offline to where you really had no clue what was going on in your own industry? What little there is out there right now about Wildlight reads more like a pitch to investors, like a...
Yes, Kingard. It's like who are we as a company and what we're making and what the people that we have on our group, right? Look at it. They got great, right? Blizzard, Destiny 2, Apex Legends, Overwatch 2, right? There's a lot of people with a lot of experience on this. Helldivers 2, Destiny Taken King, Mortal Kombat.
The games our people made ended up getting. Get in now while the stocks are low. I don't know if they're even looking for any investors. That's just the way it reads to me.
That's exactly right. That's what it looks like.
Not showing us why we should care. They're showing us why
Right. Shaping the most iconic franchises in gaming, including Apex Legends and Call of Duty and Titanfall. Do you know how many people made Apex Legends? Only 31 came over here, or 37 of the people that made Apex Legends are over here. You know how many people that worked on Call of Duty games over the years?
Investors should. Whatever the case, I think this takes the cake for the most tone-deaf reveal I've ever seen.
Welcome to Highguard.
Definitely up there with Splitgate 2's BR reveal. And something as catastrophic as this is unacceptable for a company that's putting all their chips down on this one game. But what makes this worse is just how avoidable all this was. Both
100% avoidable, right? Any tweet. Here we are on Tuesday. They could do it right now. They could launch it as of 10:54 a.m. What's the date, right? On January 20th. Right after the show, they could go live and say, hey, we have an announcement for this game coming out soon, right? They could tell you this. All right. But as of right now, there's nothing. Zero of what this game is or what it's going to be. It's just strange, man.
Before and after the reveal. A bad reveal or a scarce communication maybe could have been salvageable on its own, but together, no way. You didn't have to be the laughingstock of the night. You could have been more aware of your similarities to games like Concord or Marathon and adjusted in development. And you didn't have to go cricket mode. You could have at least pretended people should try out your free-to-play game, like Jeff, who says he played it and he loves it. But they didn't do any of that, and I think I know why.
And let me tell you something. Jeff Keighley telling me... hold on one second. Jeff telling you that he likes a game or doesn't like a game doesn't really sell me on that game. It doesn't. It doesn't sell me on the game.
Why? Because their silence is not neutral, it is an admission. An admission that they have no clue how to sell to us what they showed us. They may have been tone deaf to how strong the reaction would be, but they knew full well the modern slop they were trying to push onto us well enough they couldn't even be bothered to defend it. I 100% believe that in a world where this game wasn't propped up as a final reveal at the Game Awards from the people behind Titanfall, the animosity toward it would be more like indifference, but we don't live in that world. We live in this one. The bed's been made. I have to imagine at this point they're going to go the Marathon route and give us a delay announcement if we...
I mean, I said 3 days before, meaning they have until Thursday, Friday to put a note up there and says it's delayed, but it looks like it's coming out Monday. And it looks like there's an event that they had in place because there's leaks out there saying there's people that played the game at a big event. So I would assume that they would show this event. And I would assume that it would have to be tomorrow or Thursday, right? But let's find out.
haven't already gotten one by the time of me posting this. I mean, surely this new company doesn't have that Sony money where they're just gonna try to write it all off as a loss. And surely there's no way they're gonna go ghost all the way up to the same launch date, right? Surely. At this point, reveals like Highguard don't even make me angry like Marathon. They don't even make me tired like Splitgate 2.
Do you think this is that game that's going to be at the Xbox Showcase Eclipse? I don't know, man.
You see enough of the same thing so many times, eventually you're just numb to it, so you sit back, crack a cold one, and return to your backlog of games that actually deserve your time. Unless they drop some glorious material in the next week or so that gets all of us hype, I just don't see this game playing any part in my life outside of maybe a source of some gameplay footage I'll use in a later video that I'm gonna have.
This game better be so polished, so good, feel amazing, because it's free to play and a lot of people are going to try it. A lot of streamers are going to play it, paid, not paid, right? The number's going to go extremely and then it's going to go off the cliff, because if it's in any way, shape, or form boring and monotonous or just whatever, it's gone. Because as quick as people will try it because it's free to play, people will leave because it's free to play.
To get quickly before it shuts down, of course. Well, now you know mine. What were some of your thoughts when you first saw Highguard? What are your predictions right now? For future viewers, tell us in the comments how the launch went. Thank you, members and patrons, and as always, thanks for watching. Carry on, you kings.
So there you go. There's Kingard's video. Link in the description down below. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. It's just very strange that, you know, that's what they're doing. It's just very strange. All right, before we get to the Battlefield conspiracy, I want to read this article real fast because a lot of people don't understand how big the mobile gaming industry is. Right? The mobile gaming industry is gigantic. Okay? And I've never played this game, not 1 second. Didn't download it, didn't do anything. Okay? And we have Monopoly Go made $6 billion. $6 billion faster than any other mobile game in history. Okay, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, read them for the first time on channel, give you my thoughts and opinions, get your thoughts and opinions as well. If you like it, hit that like button. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. All right, so Monopoly Go made $6 billion faster than any other mobile game in the history. Okay, Scopely Monopoly Go has ranked in tons of cash since it released, accumulating over $6 billion in revenue quicker than any other mobile game in history. Okay. So Hasbro and Scopely make history with a mega popular mobile game based on Parker Brothers classic. Okay. It says Monopoly Go has made a fortune that would also make you rich Uncle Pennybags envious. According to the data from analysts of Sensor Tower, the Monopoly Go mobile game broke $6 billion in revenue threshold faster than any other mobile game, conquering hits like Honor of Kings and Monster Strike with its speed. Estimates now show that Monopoly Go has passed 6 billion mark in 1,275 days, a roughly 3.5 years, being the closest competitor by over a year. Interesting enough, Monopoly Go has only been on the market for 1,014 days. Tower notes that the time frame doesn't include advertising revenue, and the only in-app purchases that reflect the game said it generated over $200 million in revenue per month. To put that number in perspective, a company like Rockstar Games earns anywhere from $150 to $200 million every quarter from Grand Theft Auto games. Okay? That's a lot of freaking money. If Grand Theft Auto, okay, is making $150 to $200 million every quarter from Grand Theft Auto games, and this is making $200 million per month, not per quarter, per month. Okay, that's insane. Monopoly Go is the 14th highest grossing mobile game of all time by app purchases on the Google Play and App Stores. Scopely has proved that to be one of the most advantaged acquisitions of Saudi Arabia's Savvy Game Group. As the most recent purchase, the group responsible for Pokemon Go will also help surge the mobile presence in Saudi Arabia PIF, which is the same people that invested into EA, which funds Savvy operations, also set to significant influence of the Electronic Arts as part of the $55 billion leverage buyout that will take EA under private ownership. Okay, so there you go. I just wanted to bring that up because that's insane, dude. This number is staggering. Okay, this number right here is staggering. $200 million in revenue per month for Monopoly Go. The game, the board game, when's the last time you guys played the board game of Monopoly? Probably the last time you played it was the first time you played it, and you probably don't ever want to play it again. But everyone plays Monopoly. Everyone knows about Monopoly. Everyone has some sort of Monopoly game. If it's your favorite football team, baseball team, movie franchise, whatever, you have a Monopoly game, maybe 2 or 3 inside your closet that no one ever touches. And yet, the mobile game makes $200 million in revenue per month, which is the same as Grand Theft Auto makes per quarter. That's insane. No wonder Bethesda makes Fallout Go. Now, I'm not saying Fallout Go, or it's not Fallout Shelter, not Fallout Go. Fallout Shelter and the Elder Scrolls game on mobile, because that thing is probably bringing a shit ton of money for a fraction of the price, right? Especially with all these other games as well, right? Because I've never played the Go. Have you guys played any kind of mobile game like this? Think about that. Probably not, because you're taking your time playing on console and PCs and stuff like that. So you've probably never played this. But there's millions of people out there that are playing this and giving them $200 million a month. It's insanity. Insanity. All right. Let's go to the next one, which is about a 20-minute long video. It's by Swaggily. His link in the description down below. We're going to watch the conspiracy, the Battlefield 6 conspiracy. I would like to know what this is, because I have my conspiracies about this game. Okay, I told people not to buy it because I knew what it was. I don't know what his thoughts are, but let's see, shall we?
Hey guys, welcome to another video. I want to talk about one of my hottest takes about Battlefield 6. I guess you could call it a conspiracy theory of sorts, if such a thing were to exist for...
Well, if you give us enough evidence, or at least give me enough evidence, it won't be a conspiracy. It'll just be, you know, the facts and your theory about it.
Battlefield. I do want to add a disclaimer before I get into all of this that I'm not a game developer, nor do I have any inside sources on what actually happened with Battlefield 6's development. Much of this is just conjecture from my view as an average Battlefield player processing different pieces of information over the last few years and making extrapolations based off the finished product EA shipped to us with Battlefield 6. So feel free to take this all with a massive grain of salt.
Sure. We love listening to people's videos and then being smart enough to take what he's saying and put it towards what we know, right? We know that this game was supposed to launch in spring of this year. We know that they pushed it forward because of Grand Theft Auto 6 missing in the end of 2025. We know that the game was incomplete when it comes out. We know that the game was forced towards Call of Duty players, right? We know all of these things. We know, based on my talks and stuff in the past, that we know that this is basically 2042, right? But to look like modern, right? Same problems that were in 2042 as the same problems that are here in Battlefield 6, but it just looks better. It feels better.
Theory is that Battlefield Studios did not build Battlefield 6 from the ground up like they wanted us to believe.
Of course not. Of course not. You can see so many variations of the game, what's in this game, that's exactly like in 2042. 1,000%.
They simply took the latest build of 2042, built an EA-mandated Modern Warfare clone on top of it, and then sold it to us as Battlefield 6.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% so far what he said, right? Remember, 5 studios, 4 years, and remember, 80 to 90% of the studio has never worked on a Battlefield game before Battlefield 2042. So what do you think they were going to do? Do you think 80% of the studio has never worked with the Frostbite engine? They were going to throw them at the wolves? No, they're like, hey, let's basically take what we have and just put a mod on it, put a skin on it.
You might say, swag, duh, this is pretty obvious. You're not exactly making a Sherlock Holmes revelation here. Believe me, I know. What I really want to dig into is to point to the reason why Battlefield 6 shares many of the same core issues that Battlefield 2042
100%.
had, and moreover, to demonstrate.
I knew this because I played every single Battlefield game known to man since the beginning of time, okay? This is exactly why I said the stuff I said. I said, don't buy this when it comes out. It'll be fixed 12 to 18 months later.
Demonstrate the mandate from EA to Battlefield Studios to create EA's own version of Call of Duty. I think you might...
Yes. Yes, unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand when we say it's Call of Duty. They're like, it doesn't look anything like Call of Duty. It feels like Call of Duty. The maps feel like Call of Duty. The movement feels like Call of Duty. And then someone will be like, well, no, it's much slower than Call of Duty. We understand, but they've tuned it. They've tuned it towards a way to make it appeal to the Call of Duty crowd.
Might be shocked to.
And let me tell you, people don't play Call of Duty. The people that play Battlefield don't want to play Call of Duty because they don't want to play with the Call of Duty crowd. It's a completely different player base, right? Yes, it's a first-person shooter, but the people that play Call of Duty don't play in teams. They don't play together, right? People in Battlefield play together. They might not speak or join a group, but they play together for the objective, not for individual stats.
See just how similar they are. Let's go over a little of the history of DICE as a studio. First, we need to look back at DICE in
How did that guy miss him? Hold on a second.
2018.
How did that guy miss him?
Might be shocked to see just how similar they are. Let's go over a little of the history of DICE.
This guy is down by him. He's not even looking at him. How did he miss him?
As a studio.
Wow.
First, we need to
Wow.
look back at DICE in
What's going on, Sarge?
2018. After dealing with the burden of fixing Star Wars Battlefront 2 after the loot box controversy, Battlefield 5 suffered.
Remember the video that we watched yesterday with Mark Daria when he was talking to Destin, talking about how Anthem was affected because of Mass Effect and because of Dragon Age ahead of it, right? Remember that this is also EA, and they had a lot of stuff going on, and Battlefield 5, after Battlefield 1, right, they had Battlefront 2, and Battlefront 2 had that loot box stuff, and they were issuing with those. They ripped that off of Battlefront 2 and moved them over to Battlefield 5, and then this is where Battlefield 5, a lot of people left EA. A lot of people left. Soderlund, the guy who is king right now at Embark, okay, is the one that told you that he wanted his daughter to know that that she could be in video games as well. And this is where Battlefield 5 failed, right? And I don't think he actually believed that when he said it. I believe he said it because he's the head of the studio, and EA is like, you got to say something, right? Because they forced him to do stuff. And if they didn't force him to do stuff, why did he leave to start his own studio? Make it make sense, okay?
From a chaotic development cycle. During this period, there was a significant exodus of senior developers from DICE, the old guard, if you will, that led the studio through the glory days of Battlefield and developed the Frostbite engine. It's estimated that 10% of the studio and hundreds of senior staff members at DICE left the studio for various reasons. One of the main...
The upper echelon of the best guys at the studio all left. I wonder why.
Reasons involved a culture shift in the way EA managed DICE as a studio, with EA taking a more centralized, top-down approach where DICE as a studio had less say in the way their games were.
Now, imagine what I just said. I said Patrick Soderlund said the words that he said and said, I want to grow up in a world where my girl can grow up in a world and saying, Daddy, why am I not in a video game? Why can't I be in a war? Because you weren't in war. Right? You weren't in war, okay? I don't believe he actually said that. I mean, he did say it out of his mouth, but I don't believe that is what he wanted to say. I believe that EA said, you got to say something. Sort of like what Disney said to Ewan McGregor when people were talking about Obi-Wan. And he came out, right? Like, listen to it again, right? Listen to it again.
The way EA managed DICE as a studio, with EA taking a more centralized, top-down approach where DICE as a studio had less say in the way their games were designed.
Less say. Now, obviously, I don't think Patrick said what he said because he wanted to say it. I think he was told to say it. And because he was told to say it, he was like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm done. I'm gone. And he left to start Embark.
The creative freedom that many of these developers wished for was not granted, and developer feedback was ignored. This rigid management style from EA caused many of these senior...
Look at it. Look at all these people that left. Executive producer, senior developer, art director, quality control, vice president, creative director, senior director, chief content officer, vice president, project manager, right? All of these people left. And look, date left DICE, 16, 18, all this stuff, right? 15 years, 12 years, 18, 20, 18, 15, 21.
Developers to get fed up and leave. Many went to new studios such as Embark, who made the finals and Arc Raiders, and other Stockholm-based studios.
Look at all these. Embark, 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 Embark.
As a result, there was significant brain drain from DICE. EA had essentially pushed away many experienced developers that understood how to work with the notoriously complex Frostbite engine, which was starting to rot in a lot of ways. In 2020, EA turned their full attention to the development of Battlefield 2042.
We have a song about this. 18 months to fix the pain. Okay. Battlefield 2042, when it came out, we played the beta, and I went, this is broke as shit. Didn't buy it. Wait, we played the beta. We had a 10-hour trial when the game came out. I played an hour and a half of the 10-hour trial. Never played it again until it came to Game Pass, which was a year later. We played it since then, right? I enjoyed it, but it was broke as hell. Okay? And then they just took this game, put a mod skin over it, which would be the modern warfare that you're seeing today with Battlefield 6, and that was Battlefield 2042. And every time someone complains about the game, they're like, well, Battlefield 6 is not as bad as 2042. Great. The shittiest game that they've created, you're comparing it to the shittiest game. How about you compare it to the other games? Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, Battlefield Bad Company 2, right? Battlefield 6 is not even close to any of the ones I just named.
They pulled nearly all of the developers off of Battlefront 2 and
EA ended major support for Battlefront 2 in 2020, Battlefield 5 around the same time, shifting focus to a new project, speculation linking to the eventual Battlefield development of Battlefield 2042. They gutted Star Wars Battlefront 2, probably one of the better games they've ever created. And Battlefield 5, where they stopped supporting the game that they told you they were going to support for the longest time, so they could make Battlefield 2042. And remember, 80% of the studio never worked on a Battlefield game before to make it.
Battlefield 5 to enter full-scale production on 2042. The plan for 2042 was to deliver it on a new upgraded version of the Frostbite engine. The only problem was that Frostbite was known as being notoriously difficult to work with and develop. Because of the brain drain DICE had suffered with many of these experienced engineers leaving, the new version of Frostbite progressed at a crawl. They spent 18 months working.
18 months. Listen to that again.
Leaving, the new version of Frostbite progressed at a crawl. They spent 18 months working on this new version of Frostbite and made little progress.
18 months to fix the pain.
Work from home policies in 2020 also did not help this. By the time DICE entered full production for 2042, the new Frostbite engine was in an incredibly poor technical state. It had many fundamental problems, but regardless of the engine issues, DICE still had to press on and build out the main content of 2042 to meet their deadline. This left a little more than a year for DICE to build.
Do you see a pattern here with EA? You see a pattern? The only reason Madden gets completed every year is because they can just copy pasta every year for Madden and for FIFA. I'm sorry, for FC now. Okay? All these other games, they want to try to make like Madden, right? Hence why their new projectile thing is Battlefield's going to be a yearly release 4 to 5 years from now. Okay? Because minimal viable product. They're not selling you a brand new echelon of a game. They're selling you the same thing, reskinned, modded per se, of what they're doing.
Out the entirety of 2042 for release in fall of 2021, and we all know how rocky that launch was. Over the course of Battlefield 2042's life cycle, DICE was tasked to go back in and make updates to improve the game after the disastrous launch.
That's correct. Make the game that you made, that you were supposed to make the game before it launched.
Because many of the problems were baked in engine level issues, they could not be fully fixed. Many of these issues would have required ground up overhauls, which would have likely not been approved due to cost and time involved, not to mention.
Right. So why go back and make and fix the game that you just released? Let's just stop and make the next game. All hands on deck, the whole crew from all the things, 4 studios, 5 studios, all coming in to make the next thing instead of making the thing that was fixed because they already got it and they already suckered you into getting the money from it.
The lost engine knowledge from the original developers. These patches and updates to 2042 over its life really only served to further polish the turd that 2042
That's
was.
right. Went back and fixed the 8 maps that they launched with that were broke buggy.
This is why the quality level felt like such a huge step down from Battlefield 5. It was because of these base engine level problems. It doesn't matter how much you dress up a house. If the walls are made of paper, there's no
Put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
insulation, the pipes are leaking, and the foundation is cracked and sinking. Battlefield 2042 was just simply...
And I love people are like, well, I'm having fun with the game. And I absolutely get that you're having fun with the game. But you can also have fun with a game that's complete, not broke, not buggy, not unfinished. And you can have fun with that. You're hurting yourself by purchasing this game. Because Battlefield 6 sold 10 million, 11 million copies, you're now not going to get the next Battlefield to be better. You're going to get the exact same. The bare minimum, minimal viable product, which is broke, buggy, unfinished. Netcode will be worse off the next rendition of Battlefield, okay? And you're going to keep getting the same thing over and over and over, and you're going to be like, nah, not this time. This time is going to be different. This time is going to be different, and it's never different because you've already signaled to them, these idiots keep buying the same stuff that we're selling, so why change it? Let's just do minimal viable product.
Built on an unfinished, deeply flawed version of Frostbite. The engine level problems were manifested in 2042 with poor performance, networking problems, physics issues, menu and UI issues, animation problems, bad input feel, bad gunplay feel, and much, much more. This is why 2042 felt like a plasticky, weightless mobile game even after its final update. The issues in feel were due to the engine itself. It didn't really matter how much they updated 2042. It was never going to be fixed fully like it needed.
No.
What I hoped for
Why would they fix it? Why would they fix it? If I'm going to sell you something that's broke, buggy, and unfinished, and you pay full price for it, why would I fix it? I already sold it to you. Already done.
Battlefield 6 was that they would have learned from these mistakes and did things right from the ground up, considering that Battlefield 6 was essentially make or break for the franchise. With the inception of the newly dubbed Battlefield Studios and the bringing in of certain old school figures like David Sirlin, I hope that EA was spending the time resolving these fundamental engine issues behind the scenes during this time period, by either having engineers fix the current version of Frostbite or upgrading it to a new version altogether for Battlefield 6. I saw this as a top priority
They didn't fix it.
issue, since 2042's biggest gameplay problems stemmed from this. At all costs, they should have done everything in their power to distance themselves from 2042. It was that bad. The 4 years of total time in between release dates was...
What are the odds of them doing the exact same thing over and over again? Probably slim, right? Right?
Also double the time of previous Battlefield games. So in theory, they should have had the time to do this. When Battlefield Labs was first announced in February of 2025, they released a trailer with some heavily curated gameplay snippets of a pre-alpha version of Battlefield 6, which the community dissected endlessly. One of the biggest things I noticed was that they were still using various placeholder animations and assets from 2042. For example, the first-person sprint animation, third-person soldier animations, and even the RPG animation were all placeholders from 2042.
You don't say. You mean they didn't change anything on it? But see, everyone looks at the graphics, right? Everyone looks at the graphics and they say,
using various placeholder animations and assets from 2042. For example, the first-person...
Look at the trailer. It looks awesome. Amazing.
Sprint animation, third-person soldier animations, and even the RPG animation were all placeholders from 2042. While I know that reused assets are an industry standard, this represented to me some cause for concern, because 2042...
Yeah, same. And when I played it, thought it was fun. Had a blast playing with my friends. People were coming back to Battlefield that I haven't spoken to in a decade. And I went, nope, I'm not going to buy it because it's the same thing. It's a pig with lipstick. I will play it when it comes to Game Pass. And by that time, it'll be 12 months old, maybe 14 months old. And it'll be a much better game than it was on launch day for full price.
2's animations were one of my biggest gripes with that game, as they were worst in class and a significant downgrade from Battlefield 5. So I was initially hesitant seeing these 2042 animations still being used. I would have rather that they reverted back and used their work from Battlefield 5, not from 2042. Ideally, I was hoping that they would have spent...
Well, see, they can't do that because the people that worked on Battlefield 5 are gone. 80% of the people are gone. So the new people were like, I don't know what they did back then. I have no idea.
These 4 years addressing issues like these and redesigning them from the ground up. David Sirlin did respond to these concerns, saying that a new animation set was being worked on behind the scenes, but had just not yet been implemented, which placated some, but I was still hesitant. It made me wonder what other areas of the game they might have been cutting corners on. In June of 2025,
all of it. All of it's the answer.
I received an invite to the Battlefield Labs playtest. Much to my surprise, the Labs build was actually fairly stable and playable, but one large issue I noticed was that the game still had a 2042 flavor. The engine itself did not seem much different. While there were some new tactical reload animations...
Remember I say the bar's here and they go, whoop, whoop. Yeah, that's basically what they're doing, but their bar's not set at the bar. Their bar's down here.
From Call of Duty, more immersive screen shake, and no specialists, it still felt like 2042 in a lot of ways. Much of the plasticky 2042 mobile game feel was still there in much of the gunplay, movement, and animations. If you're familiar with 2042, you can see pretty clearly many of the same systems were...
Feels Good says, the only reason I like playing on day one instead of waiting a year is because everyone starts off fresh and starts no bots for the first month. There was bots first month. And there was a lot more problems in the game. I understand what you're saying as far as the PvP. You start off fresh, but it's basically you're rewarding the company for giving you a half-assed project, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's break it down like this. If your dog bites you, okay, and you give him a treat, right? If you don't want him to bite you, then you shouldn't reward him with a treat. Because if he does something wrong and you're like, it's okay, right? That's what you're showing, right? It's already too late. He already bit you and you already gave him the treat. So now he's associating that with, if I do this, this is what you get. So because you buy day one at full price, EA is the dog. You're rewarding the dog, okay, a treat. You're like, oh, thank you so much for giving us a broke, buggy, unfinished game, minimal viable product, because they go, oh, we got our money. And because they got their money now, they're like, they're okay with this. They're okay with us giving this bare minimum product that will fix over time because that's the way it is. Here's a battle pass. Here's more customizations. Here's more microtransactions that you can buy. Okay. Oh, netcode still broke. 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 18 months, 24 months. It's the same. It will never change unless we, the customers, stop buying. Right now, feels you could still play Battlefield 1, fantastic game, and you didn't have to give them full price, and that game's working. And if we play old games that they worked on, if you play Battlefront 2, if you play Battlefield 1, if you play Battlefield 5, instead of playing their new game, they'll be like, well, what's the problem? Why aren't they playing our new games? It's not because we're broke and we don't want to buy new games. It's because their new games that they give us are broke, buggy, and unfinished. That's it.
Just ported over, rather than receiving overhauls or redesigns. If they really did just modify the latest build of 2042 and made it into Battlefield 6, it's no wonder that this build was so playable early on. They just dressed it up to not look like 2042.
That's right.
Under the hood, it is still 2042.
You're still playing 2042, but it looks awesome.
This experience heavily tempered my expectations for Battlefield.
This is that, you ever see those videos where the baby doesn't want to eat vegetables, but the parents pop in a straw, and behind the actual hand is the actual, like, veggie stuff, and the baby is trying to look around because the baby's not fucking dumb, and it's like, and they sip it and go, oh, I don't want that, because mom and dad are trying to trick the baby to have vegetables, but the kid's like, I know your tricks, old man. Okay, I don't want that shit. Right? That's what they just did to you. They just did the hand cover when they're giving you some. Here you go. Here's your sippy cup. Here's your sippy cup. We gave you the exact same fucking game, but it's designed to look like it's apple juice. Ooh, apple juice. I like it. Right? That's what EA has just done to you guys.
6, especially because it seemed clear to me that they did not do an engine overhaul like I had hoped. It's like they
I gotta rewind there to hear him again.
Experience heavily tempered my expectations for Battlefield 6, especially because it seemed clear to me that they did not do an engine overhaul like I had hoped.
But why would they?
It's like they looked at the version of Frostbite being used in 2042.
You understand, even after Battlefield 2042 came out, they threw it on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, okay? More people played it, obviously, because it was 18 months later, like, hey, we actually have a good game. They actually liked the game, right? Now, 24 months later. So, like, let's just do that. Let's just do what we have for 2042 right now, but let's just code it over with Battlefield 6.
And said, no, it's fine, go ahead and use it. Perhaps they did do a little work on the engine behind the scenes, but many of the core problems are still present. This is disappointing to me, considering that they had 4 years.
4 years, 5 studios.
To develop the game and had a reported budget pushing over $400 million.
550 million plus.
But leave it to EA to look at something like 2042 and say, no, this is fine, let's just...
It's not EA's problem. It's us, the consumers. I don't say customers. Customers don't buy stuff. Consumers do, right? The customers, like myself, that didn't buy it, went, no, this doesn't look good. Consumers buy it because they're like, I have to. Remember that video we watched with, I think it was Wizard, right? Fake Wizard was talking about with the Nintendo, and people were like, I have to buy it. Like, they needed to breathe.
Just poured it over, instead of redesigning it to address the core issues. It seems like they spent more time hiring new developers and changing the structure of development teams, rather than tackling the core technical issues that caused 2042 to be so bad. To the developers' credit, by release, they did add some more animations and a few other features, but many of the same core fundamental issues that Battlefield 2042 faced are still present today.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
In Battlefield 6. They did not distance Battlefield 6 far enough away from 2042's feel as they should have. Here are some of the biggest problem areas that...
Because if they did what he's asking, which I agree with, by the way, I think swag is 100%. They should have, sort of like what Star Wars did. We talked about Star Wars yesterday. They should have made the new trilogy super far away from the past trilogy. And I don't think they would have had the same problems. But because they put it so close and shit on the other characters, it was a problem. Battlefield 6 should have, their engine and stuff should have been farther away. They should have taken more time to work it. But EA went, quarter's coming up. We got to make some money. Do you think we could drop this? Do you think we could drop this right now because Grand Theft Auto's gone? They're like, I guess we can. Sure, let's do it.
Still, to this day, give off that bad 2042 flavor to me and make me believe that these areas of the engine were not actually fixed. Number 1, physics. Battlefield 6's movement and physics are
You have 390 hours in Battlefield RedSec and Gauntlet. I did not buy it yet. The skill-based matchmaking needs to be removed first, and crossplay should go back to off by default before I pay more for $25. Yeah, but Jimmy, isn't that see that's a fundamental problem? You're actually doing it correctly because you're playing the Battle Royale, which technically is not good because it's saying that more people are interested in the Battle Royale than the actual game itself. I mean, look at this. I already have this bookmarked and ready to go, right? Like this is what's happening right now. 45,000 people are playing right now, right? This is RedSec. This is regular game. This is terrible. Right? But this is showing them people are interested, and this is blowing the number because I think there are people playing RedSec more than the actual game itself. Right? That's a problem. Right? It's completely wrecking what. So playing Gauntlet, playing Battle Royale is also hurting what the game is, because now if more people are playing Gauntlet and more people are playing Battle Royale, well, guess what's going to happen? they're not going to fix the game that should be fixed, which is Battlefield, right? They're going to make improvements to those things because that's not Battlefield, but that's what people are playing. And they're like, oh, well, this is where we should put our effort, right? Which then starts to separate the developers. And then there'll be a point where they still can't fix it because they're still chasing. And once they start chasing, then they'll just abandon the game. And they'll just cut their losses because they've already made their money. They don't really have to do anything anymore, right? They've made the money because people have spent microtransactions or they've made 11 million copies sold with the actual game at $70. So the next bet is, oh, we'll throw it on Game Pass, get some money from them, or we'll throw it on PlayStation Plus, get money from them, right? Put it on a massive discount sale, which is already done. Try to get an influx of people. We'll call it like 2.0. We'll call it Season 3, whatever it is. But there are major problems here. Major problems.
Marginally better compared to 2042, but it still does share many of the same idiosyncrasies that 2042 had, especially in certain situations like jumping, vaulting, traversing over micro terrain, etc. Just like 2042, Battlefield 6 sucks you to the ground.
There's 100% bots in RedSec. 100%.
Unnaturally, and makes you feel like you're just gliding or floating over the ground rather than actually stepping on it. That's not to mention many of the same bugs like
If you truly want a Battlefield game, you have to let this Battlefield game die. Die on the vine. Okay? Not slowly play it up until a thing. You have to let it die. And then 4 years from now, their next Battlefield game, or 2 years from now, hopefully that'll be better. But it won't, because they've already set the tone. This is what they bought. This is what we sold. Expectations for the next one. We sold 11 million. I think we could sell 14 million in the next one. Yada, yada, yada. More Battle Royale, more Gauntlet, more Portal.
Launching glitches. They clearly are just using a slightly modified version of 2042's physics engine instead of a new, improved one like they should have. This also extends to vehicle physics, which many more
Kraken. You can go back to Battlefield 1, full lobbies. On console, full lobbies. Right? Plus there's servers that you can go into, right? Because there's a server thing that you can pick, right? No problem finding people playing Battlefield 1.
Experienced players like Silk and Ghost Gaming have touched on. We don't have the weighted feeling that Battlefield 3 and 4 gave us. We still have the plasticky feeling from the physics that 2042 gave us. Number 2, animations. I will give DICE some credit here in saying that many of the weapon manipulation and
great. 4 years, 5 studios, they made better animations.
Reload animations are great. I appreciate that they spent some time matching up the first person and third person animations to match somewhat, even if the third person animations are still not to the quality of Battlefield 3's. My biggest gripe here is that they seem to not have had enough time to finish this area of the game.
Remember yesterday's video of Mark Daria talking about Anthem and how they just didn't have enough time? He actually made the face of this. Just didn't have enough time, right? They didn't have enough time. This is the same company, EA, okay? EA doesn't give their developers enough time to test it, to play it. They just push it out. Mark Daria said this yesterday, about 8 years ago it was happening. Do you think EA has changed? No, they have not.
Because many of the weightless, ultra fast, and plasticky 2042 placeholder animations are still present in many areas. These animations are very noticeable during vaulting, mantling, throwing grenades, switching between gadgets, aiming down sights, and many other connective animations in between. I really do hope the animation team is...
I don't talk shit about the game because I want it to fail. I talk shit about the game because I want it to succeed. And the only way it succeeds is people stop playing it. If they stop buying this shit on day one and let it die on the vine. And only then will we get the game that we want. Until then, it'll be the same. Jesse Mack says 30. Just imagine if Marvel said yes to BR and Marvel Rivals. Other players want BR, not interesting to none of BR players. Likely would not play it, and then the game would also die, in my opinion. Marvel's going to put more game modes in that thing, and there's no problem there because people are okay playing against bots because it's a 6v6. You know what I mean? When you're playing in a match like this in PvP, Jesse, you need a full lobby. to make it feel. Otherwise, they put bots. And if they fill the bots, right, and it's just you versus bots, most people won't even tell because it doesn't say bot, but theirs does say bot, right? But what I'm saying is if they really wanted to make you feel, it doesn't really matter. As long as the lobby's full, people will play the game. It's much easier in a game that has 6v6 than it is for 32 versus 32 or 64 versus 64.
Allowed to spend some additional time working on these because certain animations are amazing, while others are still really poor and resemble 2042. These probably all would have been addressed if Battlefield 6 was released in the spring of 2026 like it was initially planned.
Even if it was released in spring, it still would not be done. You would still have problems with the actual game because here we are, right? Spring comes, and if they still have the exact same problems, point proven. Okay, if springtime comes and you still have netcode issues, you still have all the other problems, right? I'm going to rewind a little bit for what he says. If it comes out in spring and their update comes and there's still problems in the game, it would not be fixed at launch.
Some additional time working on these because certain animations are amazing, while others are still really poor and resemble 2042. These probably all would have been addressed if Battlefield 6 was released in the spring of 2020.
And they won't be even addressed now because they already made the money. If they didn't make the money, they might do it because they wanted to make the money. But now that they made the money, they're like, it's good. The small percentage of the player base cares about this stuff.
6 like it was initially planned, but it had to be rushed out instead. Number 3, networking. In a similar way to Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 6 suffers from many of the same hit registration and netcode problems that...
That's crazy. That he's saying this months afterwards. When I said the exact same thing in the beta, I said there's hit registration problems, and people just hand waved it along like I was a stormtrooper. They're like, these are not the bugs that you're looking for. These are not the network issues that you're looking for. No, the network issues are still there. You can see it every single day when you played the game.
2042 had. Frostbite games have all had networking problems in one way or another, but obviously we are still dealing with the same issues like we did at the release of 2042. These networking problems also contribute to making the gunplay not feel satisfying, almost as if you're not hitting players with bullets. Let's now go ahead and talk about some of the blatant ways that Battlefield 6 copies modern Call of Duty.
Okay.
EA clearly likes to follow trends, especially when they come from Activision. EA uses little discernment for recognizing which features are good to copy and which are bad to copy. They kind of just copy everything in the hopes that the Call of Duty player base will somehow pay them some attention, rather than picking and choosing what actually works for Battlefield. Let's do a side-by-side comparison with Battlefield 6 and Modern Warfare 2, shall we? Number 1, menus. Battlefield Studios saw Activision's horrible Hulu-style menus and said, oh yeah, let's copy that over. Number 2, monetization. EA saw the monetization model that Modern Warfare 2 used and did an almost one-to-one recreation. It is wild just how closely they followed it. Even the Battle Pass itself.
Look at this garbage, right? Look at this garbage. GB says Battlefield 4 had bots. They had bots, but I believe it was only on PC, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe it was on a console. I believe it was in certain servers inside Battlefield 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time. But I'm pretty sure, I believe it was PC specific, if I'm not mistaken.
Follows the same branching progression logic that Modern Warfare 2's Battle Pass.
If it was added after the fact, but when launch happened, there was no bots, at least on console.
Followed. EA saw Activision do the Black Cell bonus path and said, okay, let's do exactly that, but we'll call it Battlefield Pro and give you even less content for the same price. Additionally, they've
Battlefield 4 have bots. Yes, Battlefield 4, again, this is AI, so I don't know. Yes, Battlefield 4 had bots, but they aren't standard matchmaking. They appeared on specific PC servers, often labeled EA.test. The testing for farming function is server-side entities allowing progression. But the generally considered basic, useless AI can also be exploited for unlocks, leading them to mixed experiences for players who can also find either fun or practice determining the game's authenticity. Where to find them? PC-specific servers. You can also find servers by removing filters in server browser by reacting to EA.test. How they work. Server side, unlike older Battlefield 4 bots are server controlled, not on your client. Progression allowed you to earn XP, unlock weapons, and progression through the game against them, and XP gained and capped. Basic AI often clumped together. Player opinions for learning, farming against the experience. Okay, let's see. Battlefield had bots on PS4. Yes, Battlefield 4 PS4 had bots, but they not standard in offline mode. Offline mode is completely different than online mode. Right? You're playing games now online, and you're playing in bot lobbies. It says here, they appeared in EA's test servers and testing, especially around 2015. Some players found servers filled with AI. Not standard, unlike newer Battlefield games like Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 4 did not have widely available official offline bot mode on PlayStation 4 for standard multiplayer. I don't know.
They've structured store bundles in almost the exact same way, in a rotating fear of missing out style. They even made their own version of weapon.
Hold on, I missed here now because we got sidetracked. Let me back up here.
Activision do the Black Cell bonus path and said, okay, let's do exactly that, but we'll call it Battlefield Pro and give you even less content for the same price.
Amazing. Same content for more price.
Additionally, they've structured store bundles in almost...
I can't even tell you, like if I wasn't, I'm not playing the game, right? I'm assuming Call of Duty is the top and Battlefield is the bottom, right? Or is it the opposite way? I don't even know.
Almost the exact same way, in a rotating fear of missing out style.
Call of Duty is top, Battlefield's bottom.
They even made their own version of weapon.
No, Battlefield's top. It says Battlefield coins. Right? They look so fucking similar. This is ridiculous.
Additionally, they've structured...
I couldn't even tell. They look exactly the same.
Store bundles in almost the exact same way, in a rotating fear of missing out style. They even made their own version of weapon blueprints with their weapon packages, just to sell skins the way Call of Duty does.
Right? So they're selling you for less stuff.
With charms, model swaps, and stickers. They believe that Battlefield players are going to somehow be enticed by a lot of this slop just because Call of Duty had success doing it. Number 3.
It's working here. Let's do it.
Operators. Just because Call of Duty had success doing it. Number 3. Operators.
Yeah, but Juby, you're saying... Okay, so you're saying, yes, 2015... It was like the last year or months leading up to Battlefield 1, but you're saying that it like had bots the entire time it was out, which is not true.
In a similar style to Call of Duty's operator system, Battlefield has adopted a full soldier skin system. They copied over having named characters with biographies, with character-specific skins that are sold in store bundles and in the Battle Pass. And no, you are not allowed to transfer these skins to other characters.
Of course not. Why would you be able to transfer the skins?
They clearly seem to believe that because Call of Duty has sold...
You know what's crazy? This character right here looks like the girl from Battlefield 2042.
Skins to other characters. They clearly seem to believe that because Call of Duty has sold bundles like these successfully, that they will also somehow be able to make these perform in Battlefield in the same way. Number 4, firing range. As you can see here,
I remember the firing range where it was outdoors and you could use the vehicles, practice with the helicopter, shoot the actual tanks. Like, you could actually do stuff. That's the shooting range I remember. This one is just indoors, like Division.
Firing ranges between Battlefield 6 and Modern Warfare 2 are nearly identical. They even put the door and prone shooting area...
Bro. You... Yeah, they put the exact same thing in the exact same place. Bro.
In the exact same position. The only difference is they made the range in Battlefield 6 just a little bit bigger.
Oh, wow. That's really different.
We got this instead of a Battlefield 4 style.
Yeah. where you used to go out and actually shoot in the shooting range, and you could use the tanks and vehicles.
Test range map where you could test everything, including vehicles. Number 5, tactical reload animations. The animation team clearly spent some significant time and effort doing their best Modern Warfare tactical reloads impression. While these are obviously very similar in design, Modern Warfare 2 still has superior.
If that doesn't show you, Jesse, that they were going for the Call of Duty crowd for Battlefield 6, I don't know what does. Okay, if you don't see it now, I'm not saying you specifically, but if people don't see that Battlefield 6 was marketed towards Battlefield or Call of Duty guys, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you, because everything about Battlefield 6 to me felt like Call of Duty. But people came out and said, "Oh no, doesn't look anything like Call of Duty." So many things look like Call of Duty, and now that I'm seeing it side by side, it 100% looks like Call of Duty.
Animation quality across the board. Now, I will say this is one of the good areas of imitation that Battlefield 6 did, even if the animations overall don't fully stack up to Modern Warfare's. Number 6, map sizes. Modern Warfare introduced Ground War, which was similar to...
I remember when Call of Duty introduced Ground War and we played it, and I said, man, it makes me want to go play Battlefield.
Battlefield Conquest with 64 players and larger maps. They focused on a medium map size with quick time to engagement. Does this sound familiar? Battlefield has historically had much larger...
Now imagine that. Call of Duty implemented sort of like what Battlefield did, and then Battlefield just stole Ground War from Call of Duty instead of making Battlefield. Think how retarded that is. Battlefield, which Call of Duty took Ground War from, and then Battlefield just copied Call of Duty instead of just making Battlefield. Amazing.
Larger maps than these, but for whatever reason, they decided to copy over the faster time to engagement and small to medium map sizes that Modern Warfare Ground War had. It's actually crazy to me to see that for Battlefield's signature mode, they decided to modify it to be more similar.
Exactly.
To see that for Battlefield's signature mode, they decided to modify it to be more similar to Call of Duty.
That my brain hurts. My brain hurts. Okay? They took a game mode and made it after Call of Duty instead of just making the game mode that's supposed to be in Battlefield. So stupid.
Of all things. The Seraph Bay Ground War map in MW2 is actually 20% larger than Mirak Valley, which is Battlefield 6's largest map. That was shocking to me. Number 7, weapon customization. In much of a similar presentation.
Look at the difference. They almost look exactly the same.
Modern Warfare's Gunsmith, Battlefield once again decided to copy some homework and presented Battlefield's weapon customization system in basically the exact same way as Modern Warfare 2, minus the added depth of weapon tuning.
The fucking font. The font looks exactly the same. It's absolutely mind-boggling, man.
Even the camo menus are basically a direct copy. I guess we're lucky that they
like, look at it.
Didn't also copy over Modern Warfare 2's attachment unlock system as well. Number 8, RedSec. EA clearly wanted to appeal to Warzone players with this one. I think it's pretty clear to see that RedSec is simply just meant to be an alternative to Warzone with a slight Battlefield twist, and nothing else. Of course, we could spend hours going into every single detail of...
I would love you, Swag, to go into hours of this. I would love to talk about this. I would love to talk about this.
Instances where Battlefield 6 blatantly copies modern Call of Duty. But I think it's pretty clear to see what EA wanted to do with Battlefield 6. Honestly,
I love the fact, and this is nothing against the gentleman that's making the actual video, right? That people are seeing it now, right? They're seeing it now. Now, maybe he saw it a while ago and now making the video. But I'm talking about the masses. The masses are like, oh, it does look like Call of Duty.
I think Activision would actually have a pretty strong case for plagiarism if this went to court. We clown on Delta Force for copying Battlefield 2042. Meanwhile, Battlefield is doing the exact same thing to Call of Duty. Battlefield 6 was clearly designed to be a vehicle to help Call of Duty players feel at home, rather than making Battlefield players feel at home. We gotta focus on adding...
You know, Sarge had a good point, right? Sarge had a good point when he said months ago that they needed Battlefield to be good, and it's okay that Call of Duty suffered, because if Battlefield rises up and Call of Duty is down, it has this rivalry again, where before there was no rivalry. It was just Call of Duty and Battlefield. But now that Battlefield has, this past year, has raised up and Call of Duty's on its low stock, we have this battle going on again, where which one is better, and they're both exactly the same. And then you throw in other ones inside the mix, right, for Delta Force and whatnot. And it does make more sense now.
Features that Call of Duty fans expect rather than what Battlefield fans expect, like a server browser. The directive from EA was clearly to not make a Battlefield game. They wanted their own Call of Duty clone.
They don't want a server browser because they want you in the regular game. And if you're not in the regular game, they want you in RedSec. If you're not in RedSec, then you're in Portal. That's why they don't want to have a server browser.
So that they could replicate the same revenue streams that Activision currently benefits from. They've thrown nearly every piece of Battlefield's identity to the side in pursuit of this goal. And we
Correct. They lost the identity of Battlefield to try to capture the Call of Duty crowd.
We know that their plan is to replicate Call of Duty's yearly release model so that they can become Activision. This probably sounds great to investors, but in actuality, it is terrible for Battlefield.
Yep.
We want a Battlefield game, not a Call of Duty clone.
Preach. Preach. If I want to play Call of Duty, I go play Call of Duty. But I don't want to play Call of Duty. Hence why I'm not playing Battlefield.
As I've demonstrated with this video, I think we can clearly see that EA has cut a lot of corners when it came to Battlefield 6's development. EA marketed this game as a Battlefield 3 and 4 successor so that they could capture Battlefield fans. While
I love what that article said. Battlefield 6 is a clear successor to Battlefield 3 and 4 with a little bit of Bad Company thrown in, because that's the last time this game was actually viable.
As a Battlefield 3 and 4 successor so that they could capture Battlefield fans, while behind their back, they were just doing their best Call of Duty impression instead. Instead of putting in the work to rectify their mistakes from 2042 and to refocus.
It's almost like they just copied the homework. And the best part is, they copied the shittiest homework, right? Call of Duty the last 2 years is the shittiest Call of Duty it's ever been, and yet Battlefield copied the shittiest part of the homework.
The franchise to go in the proper direction, they simply just doubled down and did another stab at making Call of Duty, since 2042's attempt crashed and burned so hard on their first go. It's just yet another example of executive hubris and being out of touch with what people want. I don't even think Call of Duty fans themselves want Battlefield to just be a Call of Duty clone. I
don't think they care. I don't think they care. I think people that play Call of Duty just want to play Call of Duty, and you could see it, because the way people play, when you played in the beta, or at least when I played in the beta, you could tell the Call of Duty type of players. They wouldn't revive, they would go for the kill, they would do all the other stuff. They wouldn't play Battlefield, which turned me off as a Battlefield player, because the teammates are not playing Battlefield.
You can see with player numbers, it's not exactly hitting for them either. This is why I say Battlefield.
That's because they chased the Call of Duty crowd, and Call of Duty players came over, bought it, win for EA, but it's not Call of Duty. And so it's a win for EA, but a loss for Call of Duty players, because it's not Call of Duty. They try to force feed Call of Duty players into a game that's not Call of Duty. And then they lost the Battlefield guys because it's not also a Battlefield game.
Battlefield 6 is just 2042 with Modern Warfare 2 built on top. I think it is.
I wouldn't even say built on top. I would say it's a mod on top. Sort of like what Starfield's doing right now with the Star Wars, right? The Star Wars Genesis mod on top of Starfield makes Starfield better. All right? They put fundamentally different things in there, but it's just a skin. It's Starfield with a Star Wars skin. This is Battlefield 2042 with Battlefield 6 skin on top.
Fair to say that Battlefield may just be dead. It really does make me kind of sad. If you listen to this entire video, thanks for sticking around and listening to me yap. Don't forget to hype and like this video. Thanks for watching.
So his link is in the description down below. Swagular. So go check it out. 76,000 views. Good video. Good video. Small channel, bigger than mine. Small channel, 4,460 subscribers. So go check it out. Give it a like. Give it a thumbs up, right? Give it a comment. All the links in the description down below for all the stories that we covered today. Yeah, so Battlefield, that's a good video. I like that video. I like that he showed the comparisons back, top and bottom. I couldn't even tell. I couldn't even tell which was which because they look so goddamn similar. PS5 Blow says Forza Motorsports doesn't have a server browser. Besides that, at card points, they effed up. Sarge says, but they also got paid, bro. They don't care. They just get ready for the next lie on release. Yep, that's it. Just Nub says it's going to need a server browser in a year or two. Keeps the game alive with the low. Yeah. Well, they'll put the server browser in after the fact, but they don't want it in now because if they put a server browser in now, then you wouldn't go try RedSec. You wouldn't go play Portal. You wouldn't go do the other 15 game modes they have in the game. They want you to do here, and they're like, oh, it's not working. They'll put the server browser in later. I still don't know which one was which one was COD and which one was Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 was at the top, and COD was at the bottom. Ray says, watch out, Battlefield and COD. High Guard is coming. The guy who made Call of Duty was the charge of Battlefield. Does this guy know? Well, the guy who created the Call of Duty, which is Vince Sampello, who's no longer with us, PS5, he didn't create the modern Call of Duty that we have. He created the Call of Duty that everyone loved back in the day, right? So what you see visually happening here wasn't the Call of Duty that he created. Like, even though that he worked on Titanfall and all the other games that he did, Medal of Honor, they literally copied the homework straight up from the new Call of Duties, which is the shittiest Call of Duties, by the way. Aku says 30. There's a rumor that Medal of Honor is being revived and has a COD competitor. Like, duh, that's what you should have done, right? Yeah. So, and then also talking about Battlefield 6. So, because Vince Zampella died about a month ago, right, over the Christmas break, they were out ahead of a guy. They lost the head of the studio for them. They're a ship, a oil tanker without a captain right now. Okay, so this boat's just going along, and they decided to get Julian, the guy from Division. Right? Let me bring this up because this was up in the talk about yesterday, but we didn't talk about it yesterday. Let me bring this up. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah. All right. So this, right? We were like, what's going to happen to Battlefield now that all of a sudden they don't have a guy anymore? Like, they're in trouble. They don't have a visionary of what it is. Well, the guy that made Division 1 and Division 2 and Outlaws and all the other stuff from Massive has left Massive and has now moved over to Battlefield. Okay? Once an agent, always an agent. We're thankful for everything you gave us in this universe. We'll always be a part of it. Good luck at EA Dice. Okay? Today I want to share that Julian, executive producer of the Tom Clancy, the Division franchise, is heading into a new adventure at Battlefield Studios. While we also miss him and mark him live Massive, we'll also continue to bring the world as has been part of creating our team and players of the years to come. Julian, your legacy is part of the studio, and remember, once again, the agent was always an agent. For our players, don't worry, agents, our team, who also built the world of Julian, are still here, carrying forward the ambitious, unchanged commitment to the future of Division 2, the Division Survivor, and the Division Resurgence and Division 3. I'll be honest, I'm worried about both of these franchises now, right? Because Julian did make Division 1, and it's a fantastic game, but it was broke, buggy, and unfinished when it came out. Division 2 was a much better Division game at the launch, but it still had massive fixes to be, and it fixed it over the next couple of years. Star Wars Outlaws, the same game where he visually captured what Star Wars was back in the late 70s, early 80s during the movies of 4, 5, and 6, okay? He made Outlaws, but Outlaws was broke, buggy, and unfinished when it came out. And now we have the man that made all of these games moving over to EA. Okay? Moving over to EA. And it says a week after talking up Division 3, boss Julian has left Ubisoft for EA. So now I'm worried about Division 3 because this is the guy that made Division 1 and Division 2, and now he's making Division 3, and he's leaving. So I'm a little worried about Division 3 now. All right. A week after taking up the development in Division 3, series creative director Julian has also left Ubisoft Massive Studio to join Electronic Arts. It's been confirmed. In a statement on social media, Ubisoft confirmed that Division series and Star Wars Outlaws lead has joined the Battlefield studios. He says, quote, while I'll miss him, his market will live on in the Massive and continue to bring out the world as part of creating our players for years to come, it said. Quote, for our players, don't worry, agents. We already read that part. It says, in further statement, Ubisoft Division veteran would continue as creative director in Division 2 and Division 3, while the Massive veteran Magnus Johnson is also rejoining the lead extraction mode in Division 2 Survivor. Okay. Julian said in his own statement, agents, quick update from the base of operations. It's time for me to hang up my go bag, meaning they paid him a shit ton of money to come over to EA, as I go to another grand adventure. The Division future burned bright, as I can't wait for the discovery and the teams have been working on. A long live the Division and Godspeed. Now, if he loved the Division so much, I mean, money's money. You got to do what you got to do, right? And again, Battlefield was a giant ship without their captain, and they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. Hence why they delayed it by a month, because I'm assuming because of the fixes and problems they have in Battlefield 6 and they don't know what to do now, they had to delay a month for Season 2 because they're like, oh shit, we don't know what to do. So they're bringing this guy in. So he's coming in, hitting the ground running when he gets to the studio because they're going to need him. It's not clear what role it will take in Battlefield Studios. His appointment comes shortly after the tragic death of Battlefield franchise boss Vince Zampella, who died in a car accident in December. Division boss departure comes a week after it appeared at a digital showcase to talk up the third game last October. Ubisoft was also forced to deny rumors. Julian then set to leave the company, calling them far from true. Earlier this week, Ubisoft announced a proposal organization restructuring of Massive, which has said the results in 55 people losing their jobs. So there you go. So basically, if you look at this as a sports team, right? Massive quarterback has left this franchise to move to a different franchise. So good for Battlefield, because now they have a captain again. And again, they don't say his role, but we're not idiots, right? If he was the director, okay, of Division 1, 2, and Outlaws, guess what his position is? It's not getting coffee for people over on Battlefield Studios. He's coming in to take the place of a guy who just passed away in December. I think we're all smart enough to figure that out, right? So he is the new captain of the ship. I am the captain now, okay? So now, what does this mean for Battlefield 6? Is this good or bad? I don't know. But I think overall, Battlefield is still in a bad place. And I think, unfortunately, because Vince Zampella, who was trying to bring it into the right place, is no longer with us. And now they have to bring in someone from another studio that probably wants to get away from Ubisoft. But it's like grass is greener on the other side. You left Ubisoft to go to EA. And the horror stories that we hear about EA, about how they manage people above, we'll see how long he lasts at Battlefield Studios. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. GB says, the Breaking Point launched like garbage and quickly changed pace and made the grind not so shitty as well as a launch. They've also even added an option to reduce the UAV. It's also spot on from where the Ubi's dev's good. Mo says, could be good for Massive because Joe Montana left the Whiners, got Steve Young, so you never know. True, but you can still win, right? But how many Super Bowls they win under Joe Montana? How many they win under Steve Young? I don't think as many, but they still won. I mean, taking your example there. Or maybe a co-CEO, since they probably want a plan B just in case. Perhaps, but he's got to be in the high position, right, Altern? He's not coming over to be just a lead designer or something. Altern says Battlefield 7 will be the looter shooter. Yeah, I'm worried about Division 3 also. What kind of agent? Is he a rogue agent? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Massive moving forward with Division 3, especially since they didn't want to do it, and then they did want to do it, and then they didn't want to do it, and then they didn't want to support it, then they supported it again, and they didn't want to make a Survivor, then they're making a Survivor. Now that they've lost their guy, we'll see what happens. All right, I'm going through Twitter real fast to see if there's anything that's coming out or talking. Sea of Thieves has a Lego set coming out. Russians Call of Duty could cost 10 billion rubles over the government. Okay. Russian Call of Duty could cost 10 billion rubles, but the government is ready. Okay. Let's see. Nintendo of America recently retired President COO Doug Bowser has joined the board of directors of a toy giant, Hasbro. Interesting. I'll have to put that in the the news stories for later. So Doug Bowser has moved from Nintendo and moved over to Hasbro. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of things that happen in the amount of days and weeks and stuff. I don't know what this is. We've got Russian Call of Duty. Okay. Always have plenty of stories to talk about on the show. Constantly always have things to talk about. What is that? Bro. You think your wire management's bad? Look at this shit. How do you figure anything out on this? What is this? Why don't you cut it and then get rid of the access stuff? Oh my God. How do you find anything in that? This looks like Clark Griswold's wall when he's trying to light up his house. That's a rat's nest of cables. And these are professionals, guys. These are professionals. This is what Ubisoft does with video games and EA. This is how they do it. The pros, man. They're pros. That's absolutely nuts. Like, what are we talking about? Pro cable management. Like, what are we doing? Oh my God. Launch trailer for the newest Once Human update. People still playing Once Human? I totally forgot about Once Human. And we talked about it. I think someone brought it up a couple weeks ago. What is happening here? Oh my God. All right, that's the music. This is why this is what's going to make you cost more money for electricity in your town. Yeah. A mosh pit of raptors. Yeah, this is the AI future that we're going to live in. What else we got over here? American Truck Simulator announcing their next DLC, Illinois. I want to know when they're coming to console. That's the only thing I care about. Yep, Xbox Cloud Gaming is getting an ad-supported tier this year, confirming my report from a few months back. Users began noticing references to ad support while launching games in the week. So there's a new ad support that's coming out for... that's from Jez Corden from Windows Central. Dolphin says, my stepmom sent me a video of a giant water monster, and I said, that's AI. She went, oh. She said, did you see the Loch Ness Monster? Did you see it? Rockstar gives a terminal ill fan early access to GTA 6. Does that mean it's complete? Does that mean it's complete? Steam now lets you gift complete the set bundles to your pals, including relevant discounts. Nice. Right. Right, Sarge? Then it's complete then. I mean, I would assume, right? If they can give it to a terminally ill kid, unless they're like, let's let him play it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's good or not. Just put it out there. He'll be fine. First of all, I want to know how old the kid is. Because if he's not over 13 years old, he probably shouldn't be playing Grand Theft Auto. But it doesn't really matter, I guess, huh? Dolphin says this kid won't notice. He's dying. Well, that's not a lot of noticing. Again, we don't even know if he's a kid. We don't even know if he's a kid. Remember that in Destiny they gave the Vex Mythoclass to a person that was dying early, and people were like, "That's not fair." Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that? Please tell me you remember that. The guy was on his deathbed. He was a huge Destiny fan. They gave him the Vix Mythoclass because he was dying. And everybody was upset that he got to play and he would go into PvP matches and basically own. And then they opened it up to everybody else later down the road. But people were complaining. Aku says 30. Why do I see Water Bear falling terminally ill tomorrow? Yeah, he's going to play it. Have you guys seen? So I didn't watch it live, but you guys know about the new Star Trek show, right? What's it called? Star Trek Academy, I think it's called, right? They put it on YouTube. Okay, they put it on YouTube for free. For free. So you can watch the first episode on YouTube. It got 1,500 views live when it came out. Or 1,300? I think it was 1,300. And the gentleman, Gary Bueller, is that his name? That has Neurotic, put a Star Trek Spock toy figure on an empty chair. So he was just sitting on the chair. Okay. And that had double, if not triple, the viewership than the Star Trek show, and nothing was happening. More people were watching Star Trek toy figures sitting on a chair than the actual Star Trek show. Did you guys see this? If that doesn't tell you that the Star Trek of today is in trouble, I don't know what to tell you. Didn't even hear about it? Here, let me show you. Where is it? I don't know if I can show. They might hit me because it's Fox reported on it. Let me see if I can find a picture. Yeah, so basically, so this is from Geeks and Gamers. Neurotic humiliates Star Trek Starfleet Academy after Spock action figure live stream destroys premiere numbers. Okay, so a disastrous debut for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. It just got even more embarrassing. Okay. Neurotic had a tweet said, "My live stream with Spock action figure in an empty chair beat Star Trek Starfleet Academy by 1,300 plus peak live viewers on YouTube in under 3 minutes." Okay. He had 1,500 and it went on bigger than that. Okay. In a move that perfectly captures the current state of modern Star Trek YouTuber Gary, how do you say his name? Is it Bueller? I can't pronounce his last name. Better known as Neurotic, decided to test just how weak the audience's interesting really was. So his experiment was simple. Could a live stream consisting of nothing more than a stationary camera pointed at Spock action figure sitting on an empty chair outperform an official Star Trek Starfleet Academy YouTube premiere? Okay, a Spock toy beat Paramount's flagship premium in minutes. That's insane. Okay. It went on, the Spock figure, peak concurrent, 3,389 peak concurrent, 24,000 views. Okay. With under 3 minutes, the empty chair of Spock surpassed the Starfleet Academy premiere peak concurrent viewership. The stream ran for 52 minutes total and reached a peak concurrent of 3,389 viewers. Nearly 3 times the engagement of Paramount could muster for the highlighted promoted series launch. That's terrible. Terrible. Right? 16 hours after, it had 28,000 views. 28,000 views for a total, for your brand new show. 28,000. That is Hollywood putting a show on YouTube and it got nothing. Fucking amazing. Amazing. All right, what else we got? There's so much stuff. But that's why dev behind the last year's big flop is still paying streamers to play it. Mind's Eye is still paying streamers to play their game. There's another war bond coming out for Helldivers 2. Redacted Regime war bond supposedly coming out later this week. PlayStation is doing a marathon limited edition DualSense controller onto a personal collection. So let the advertisement start. I want Seth to make more Orville. I don't think he's doing anymore, is he? Uh-oh. Marathon. It says Concord 2 forecast update. Concord never got inside the top 100 best-selling list on Steam at launch. Marathon is currently number 5 after pre-order launch. There you go. We have no idea how many people pre-ordered it, but there you go. I think there's going to be a lot of people interested in Marathon, and then it's just going to just fall off the cliff. Again, I said 150. I said 150,000 concurrent. That's my number. I have to go back and find that, but I'm pretty sure I said 150. I said between 135 and 150, I think is what I said. We'll have to figure that out. Arc Raiders is still number one, yeah. All right. So instead of having 4K consecutive players, it will have 6,000 players. That's right. All right. That's going to do it for me on the Daily Grind today. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. We'll be playing some more Hightail this evening. Actually, we might play Roadcraft. I don't know, but we're playing something. Because I've been doing videos, uploading videos for Hightail on the channel. So maybe I'll play some... I'll play some Roadcraft. Maybe we'll play some Hightail. Either way, we're going to be playing a game tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. Come on over there. If you guys make sure you hit the like button over there, subscribe over there as well. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.